to do, yeah. Tell me how and I'll do it, babe. Cause I just wanna make you feel the way I do about you. So just tell me how and I'll do it, babe. I love it when you whisper in my ear, words only meant for me to hear. Promise that your secret's safe with me. You're the only reason, yes, you're the only reason. Baby, you're the answer to my prayers. Feeling like the world is in our hands.
Good morning, guys. Let's get started.
Now I know that this is meant to be. You're the only reason, yes, you're the only reason I'm free.
After a brief consolidation, Bitcoin is right back at it. Always nice waking up to Monday morning bullishness. The National Review calls for Facebook to be nuked from space by the American government. We talk about why we need to focus on DEX liquidity in the United States. Zuko delivers an ultimatum to the ZCash community, and Bitfinex is set to allow 100x leverage for its margin trading. Where is Bitcoin going from here? We're going to find out on today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live Monday, June 24th, 2019, foul year of our Lord, your daily source for market updates, sentiment, and news for professional traders. I am your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at CrackingCryptocurrency.com. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you're watching us from across YouTube, DLive, Twitch, Facebook Live, and of course on Roku at the Investor News channel. If you want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage in the live chat and in the comments section down below. Now, we've got a great show for you today, but first, before we begin, this episode of Breaking Bitcoin is brought to you by us. Are you an aspiring trader, or are you an experienced trader looking to improve? The Cracking Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group can help you maximize your potential. Our education focuses on risk management, technical strategy, capital preservation and growth, statistical analysis, automation, and lifestyle coaching. We provide reliable signals and setups for beginners and seasoned traders alike, in addition to supplying our team members with proprietary indicators, spreadsheets, audio and video coursework and training, and other powerful tools. In addition to providing exceptional technical and customer support, our community is a powerful resource for support, community engagement, and growth, whatever your trading style may be. To get started today and push your skills to the next level, visit premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. That's premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. So we're going to start off with our premium trading group update. So we did our weekly VIP Ask Me Anything this morning. The video is processing and I will upload it to the Premium Plus folder this afternoon. I will also move our previous Ask Me Anything to the Premium Start Packet folder for all non-Premium Plus members to follow along with. It was a great turnout. A little bit of a different set of individuals due to the time zone switch. We normally do them Sunday evening, so we get individuals from certain time zones. So it was good to get everybody in from across the pond, because they're often not able to join because of course, the time zone differences. And it was really nice to receive. It was a great session. Really good, engaging questions. We had a fantastic discussion with our traders. We talked about obviously, the benefits of community trading is the fact that we're going to have all these other highly intelligent individuals to work with and communicate with and engage with. So I have fantastic ideas. I have a profitable strategy. And now that I've revealed that to a lot of individuals in the group, how it works, the inner workings, the nuts and bolts, they're able to take that system, even though it might not be identical to exactly what I do, and they're able to apply their own discretionary elements and make it even better and make it work for them, which is what we want to do. We don't want cookie cutter strategies. We want to teach you what you need to know, the methodology to develop a profitable strategy of your own. And it's just fantastic when we have intelligent traders and people who actually care, and that's why our community is so strong. So In this morning's session, we talked about funding rates and its effect on trading, reversal trading, discretionary position sizing, crypto taxation, LibreCoin, Pine script strategy, confirmation filters, long wicks and their effects on entering trades or not entering trades, the future of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, the dangers of low liquidity markets, how to position size appropriately in such markets, problems with trading on Coinbase, risk management, low cap coin trading, moving from Bitcoin to fiat or stable coins, depending on what Bitcoin is doing, sentiment data sources and their effect on trading, and a few other things as well. So our next project throughout this week is going to be focusing on updates, the user submitted updates to the Advanced Trading Journal, and of course, further lessons for Module 3. Module 3 was launched last night. The first 2 lessons are live. So the videos that accompany them, as well as the further lessons, which are going to be focusing on improving our Pine strategy tester and incorporating everything that we're learning to do manually into our automated backtesting engine. We're going to get more advanced and more nuanced as we progress through the modules. So we're going to do that as well. And then we're also going to put out the quiz. I'm also going to go back and put in another quiz for Module 2 because Module 2 is so important to what we do because you are picking your initiator there and your initiator is so important to the rest of the development of your PTP system. I want to put in a final quiz to challenge people. So for example, you guys know how we rank order our different initiators against each other in our manual and our automated testing. So I want to put in a quiz that kind of forces people to input the different selections. So, hey, what were your top 3 initiators? What were their statistics over here? Okay, so we need that data moving forward. What time frame did you test on? How did you test? That way I can actually look and see if you guys are doing something right. So I know a lot of the guys in the group, most of the guys in the group are giving a lot of feedback on their process and what they're doing, and they're talking it out every single day in the members lounge. But some of them are probably laying back in the weeds doing their own thing, and maybe they're not sure if what they're doing is right. So by submitting that quiz, we can have our team actually look over what you're doing and make sure, in addition to all the other ways that our team monitors your trading, that everything is working appropriately. So I'm going to do that. We're also going to do that with Module 3. So we're going to take our stats I'm going to ensure that we are taking our stats from Module 2, porting them over to Module 3, applying our filters, and getting better results to improve our profitability and our win-loss ratio, and ultimately our bottom line. All right, so having said that, let me slide this back up to the top. The ByBit trading competition is live. Registration is done. I'm sorry you guys cannot join anymore. Shout out to everybody who joined in. We've got a good group of guys who joined. And again, just as I said in the previous days, you don't have to be, you don't have to be an elite trader. This is not like a super serious competition. It's just fun. It's just friendly. There are going to be some prizes to the winners. So congratulations to everybody that entered and best of luck to you. It is live right now. So this is a BTC USD competition on the pair BTC USD on ByBit. So anything you do for over the next week is going to be tracked. Now, nobody can see your account balance. Nobody can see your position sizes. Nobody can see what specific trade you're looking at. All we're going to be looking at, and in fact, I don't have access to any of this information. ByBit is doing this all on their back end. They're just going to be tracking account growth over the competition period. So the size of account growth, and of course, you can use any method or strategy that you like in the competition. So best of luck to everybody, and I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the leaderboards as they come out. So I want to thank our current Discord Nitro boosters. Of course, if you guys want to support the community, on top of sharing and engaging and liking and subscribing and following, you can, of course, come into Discord and boost our server. If you have Nitro, we highly appreciate that. It does make the community better for everybody because it takes a village. And I want to thank everybody recently for coming out and supporting the community. It's just fantastic. Now, yesterday's crypto winner for the comment giveaway was GBU Wally, doubling up on the wins there. So shout out to you, my good friend. And we're going to start off today's show, as we always do, by gifting some crypto. So let's get right into this, and we're going to get over into the live scene. Okay, so here we are on the live scene. Let's just take a quick look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin at 11,062 over there on the Finex, and around just 11,000 flat over there on Coinbase, plus or minus $1. Trading at 1.28 over there on the South Korean won, and 11,540 for the OKCoin forward 3-month contract. So interesting to see. Let's go ahead and pick our YouTube comment winner. Let me get over here and select this button. Waiting for YouTube. How are you guys doing this morning? Hopefully you guys are doing really, really well. It's a good morning. Good day to be alive. Good day to be in cryptocurrency. Interesting. Let's pull that up a little bit. Okay, cool. You guys saw a little bit of the Bat Cave. I'm just kidding. Okay, everything looks really good. Cool. Trying out a new positioning for the camera today. All right, so yesterday's show was Bitcoin fever in full effect. Russia, Litecoin, and the U.S. Congress are head over heels. And we'll grab the URL for yesterday's video. We'll come over here and choose a video. Pop that in there, load comments. We do have a total of 10 possible winners, and we will go ding, 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 ding. Best of luck, guys. Ugochill, he says, to the orbit and beyond. Congratulations, man. And thank you for regularly watching us over there on DLive, my good friend. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for the support. And as always, if you get a hold of me in the Discord, Mr. Ugochill. If you just get a hold of me at JustinWise5696 or email us at contact@krakencryptocurrency.com, I will tip you some crypto, my good friend. Moving right along, let's get into the Bitcoin chart. All right. Okay, starting off with our Bitcoin USD analysis. We are here on the weekly chart, and I guess we can go ahead and start off here. So let's talk about our weekly levels right here. So what is interesting about the weekly chart is we have to look at where we would have gotten an initial signal to go long on the weekly time frame. That would have been this candle right here over on the week of the 25th of March 2019, and we would have been able to wake up to this. So again, this is not exactly how we do things because we are using the daily time frame, and there's a very good reason for that. But just interesting to point out. This is also another thing that we talked about in the VIP Ask Me Anything this morning is the nature, one potential application of utilizing your secondary baseline and your primary baseline, as well as looking at other time frames for the purposes of discretionary position sizing. Of course, your position sizing is going to have the most impact generally on the profitability or loss of your trading. So let's go back down to the daily. Obviously, we just see that on the weekly time frame, we've gotten multiple continuation longs. We got a continuation long over here the week of the 6th of May 2019, and just on the close of the previous weekly candle. So we are getting a continuation long signal. Now, I'm going to talk about something relating to sentiment as we move forward. But again, just remember, we take every single signal that our strategy gives us and we position size appropriately, and then we just keep moving forward. And over time, we will make more money than we will lose. That is just the way the system works. If you have put in the time, patience, diligence, and strategy to construct a good system in the first place using the methodological approach that we have designed in PTP. Now, looking over, obviously, we are still sitting in our long position from back over here. Actually, hold on. Sorry. I need to adjust the settings on this bad boy, moving that back up. Okay. And for some reason, oh, I know why. There we go. Sorry about that. So still sitting in our continuation long from back over here on the 21st of June 2019. Now we are getting a take profit long signal from our sensitive exit indicator today. So at the close of today's candle, should this still be valid, we will be exiting our position in nice profit. What is interesting is we are also getting an exit signal from our less sensitive exit indicator. So however you'd like to slice it, this is going to be a situation where I'm going to go ahead and take profits on my trade. It has been a very nice trade to the upside over there on ByBit. Very happy with this, and we'll be going ahead and pushing out of our position and moving right along. Volume dropping off. Price obviously still quite bullish above the daily baseline. Wadatar is still quite bullish, but we do have waning volume as well, waning momentum on Wadatar, which again can be viewed as an early exit indicator in and of itself. I don't utilize that in my personal strategy, but again, in PTP, you are free to utilize any and all indicators that you would like and any and all signals that you can get. All that matters is that you strategically backtest them according to a certain parameter of rules. So this is looking very good, very happy with this trade, and moving on. What do I see today? Just as I've said over the last few days, I don't see anything in here, no opportunities to do anything else on the daily, which is the most dominant time frame, the most important time frame. So that is all we have to say as far as daily time frame trading. Still sitting in our long position, and we will most likely be taking profits at the close of today's candle should things be looking like they are. And the reason why is because Minx is descending back into static, which is letting us know, hey, you should probably go ahead and hop out of your position. And same with RVGI, which is quite interesting. So when they both agree like that, I tend to listen to them quite, I tend to give them quite a bit of importance. So moving on over to the 12-hour time frame, of course, we would have already been out of our position over here on the 12-hour. Did it take us away from some profit? Yes. Now, if we had actually waited for our VGI to fire, we would have gotten out at a much better price, looking at the difference between the sensitive exit indicator and our less sensitive exit indicator, our VGI obviously firing over here on the close of last night's candle on the 24th of June, 2019. Or the open of today's candle, however you'd like to look at it. And that was from a position that we would have opened up back over here on the 20th at the close of, or excuse me, at the open of the 20th, actually. So at the open of the daily candle on the 20th, we would have gone long on that candle as well. And nothing to do here. We should be fully out of a position on a long position if you're trading on the 12-hour time frame on Bitcoin. Now, what is interesting, if we look at price action, we can see that we had a nice period of bullishness here, obviously a nice up thrust consolidation, and we do now seem to be testing the highs to see if we are going to break out. Obviously, we talked about the liquidity grab here on the 12-hour time frame, just as we talked about the liquidity grab on the daily yesterday, actually pumping up just a little bit above the previous high, and you would assume this is what people are trained to do. They are trained to look at situations like that and say, liquidity was grabbed, we must be going to the downside. But that's not always how it works. You can see that it does happen over here. We do grab liquidity, and then we up thrust, and then we move down. See how we move up on lower momentum, and then the levy breaks, and we move down. That means that this candle right here, this last up candle before shift in market structure, does act as an order block, and you can actually see on this very candle, when we actually break, we break above that level of resistance. We break above the beginning of the order block. We bump back down on the very same candle to back test it as support, and then we continue pushing on to the upside for those trading price action and order block support and resistance type methodologies. Now, don't see anything like that here. What does that mean? Does that mean we should be cautious about a beginning of a down thrust? Because again, we did grab liquidity. We are moving up on fairly low momentum. We'll see. Now, trend-wise, price is still bullish. Is this the right moment to enter into a long? Not in my opinion. I entered into a long when I should have entered into a long when my system told me to go long. Over here, I don't see I don't see an opportunity to go long right now. I just see an opportunity to take profit. The daily now catching up with the 12-hour and getting me out at a better price target, depending on where the daily closes. However, there's nothing that can happen right now to make me lose money on this trade. So I'll go ahead and lock in profit today, assuming that everything looks as it does now. Moving on over to the 8-hour, again, riding this continuation long up to this candle right over here, 1600 UTC time on the 22nd, exiting that trade here and missing out on a little bit of profit. But as we can see as we descend into the meso timeframes, getting some nice consolidation, grabbing liquidity above the local highs, moving up on low momentum. So this is an area where you do want to be cautious for a movement to the downside. Now, going down to our very popular 4-hour time frame, we have gotten some very what's the point I want to look at in this level of consolidation, getting some signals for continuation longs. If you're using WADA for confirmation for continuation longs, then you're staying out of these trades. However, if you're not, then you have entered into several, I would say, bad trades on the 4-hour time frame after getting some very good trades through the majority of the run up here on the 4-hour time frame. But the 4-hour does highlight a little bit better the level of consolidation. We've reached a high, pull back down to the 4-hour baseline, up thrust, grabbing liquidity, pull back down to the 4-hour baseline, and then continued up thrust. So we kind of are in this area where both options are equally logical from a price action standpoint. We have tested resistance twice, we have grabbed liquidity, and now the market is going to decide, the movers of the market are going to decide whether there's going to be more buyers to push us through into a breakout, in which case that will trigger another bullish expansion, or whether we have grabbed enough liquidity, enough buyers that have filled their positions earlier have sold, and we are going to see a more significant pullback, potentially even down here to the 4-hour secondary baseline. However, I would be looking at something like the daily baseline first, of course. That would be a pullback all the way back down to the higher 9,000 levels. Again, nothing that I'm betting on, not a position that I will be putting on, but just something to be cautious of. And what is nice about that as well is that we have confluence from the fact that our exit indicators are going ahead and telling us to get out of our position. So good to know and note from our strategy and system. Moving on over to Ethereum. So TLDR, nothing to do, no new long positions to be putting on, and most likely taking profit as we descend into the evening. Moving on to Ethereum. Very similar standpoint. We talked about Ethereum breaking above this order block right here, and this still looks quite bullish to me. Moving into the daily time frame, we are getting the exact same signal from Ethereum, a take profit long on today's daily candle from our sensitive exit strategy. However, if we go down to our VGI, it is not confirming. It is not telling us to get out, even if we confirm that our settings are the same, a little bit more sensitive, sped up just a little bit. So Again, for good reason or for bad reason, we haven't had the same level of consolidation. This still looks quite like a hairy area, honestly, on the daily. We are breaking above that daily order block, 2 levels of support, 2 levels of resistance here. The up thrust pulling back in to buy support. Typically, from a price action standpoint, whenever you break above a bearish order block or above a bearish level of resistance, when price descends back into that level of resistance, which has become support, you would be a buyer and you would look for the next bullish expansion. Again, I think it's going to depend quite heavily on what Bitcoin decides to do. So Ethereum is just a proxy for Bitcoin. Right. So yes. Ethereum is a proxy for Bitcoin. As we can go over and look on those lower time frames, the lower 4 hour time frame, the lowest meso time frame that I would consider a meso time frame. And what we can see is, again, double tap of resistance, grabbing liquidity, and now we're going to see if we get buyers to push the breakout up or reversal to push us back down. Again, not betting for myself on a position size to the downside, but I would be looking for another signal to go long as we move forward. Okay, now getting back over to Ethereum, excuse me. I think I need to... There we go, turn that on. All right, so getting over to Ethereum, again, getting the take profit signal on the daily time frame. We'll descend into the lower time frames. Obviously, this is from a continuation long that we put out over here. So moving from this trade right here, about 5% profit closing out at current price. Not a bad trade. Again, initial long signal over here and taking this trade to the upside as well. And until we got here, got the exit signal on that long signal as well, and then continuation long capturing this profit as well, depending on how you are doing your strategy. Now, let's go down into the lower time frames. On the 12-hour, we got a continuation long here, which actually allowed us to take advantage of this movement to the upside, this more bullish expansion, really the most profitable movement, the most bullish candles that we can see here, and a take profit long here, pretty much at the top of the market. You can see the level of consolidation here on the 12-hour, the grab for liquidity below. So again, from a price action analysis, there's nothing here to give strong confirmation bias. Again, in my opinion, consolidation at resistance is typically a bullish expansion sign, especially coupled with the fact that we have broken above a historical order block, a very important order block. So let's see. Really, this is an area where market movers can paint the candles kind of how they want. Again, we have broken above that historical level of resistance, that historical bearish order block. So it would make sense. It would be statistical to continue on to the upside. But again, this is also a perfect opportunity for us to get hit in the face by a big whale dump. And again, I quite like the fact that regardless of that, I am getting that nice take profit long. So regardless of which way price moves to the upside or to the downside, it's been a profitable trade. And I should just go ahead and not be greedy and take my profits and move right along, because there's lots of other trades that are already signaling and that I'm already in. So going down to the 8-hour time frame as well, got the initial long signal over here, which did not confirm. We could have taken it here and getting a take profit long on this signal right here. So we are already out on the 8-hour, pretty much getting out at the top, avoiding a lot of this drawdown. And actually, we would be at a worse price right now, had the opportunity to sell a little bit higher. And RVGI would have gotten us out here. So that's actually on the exact same candle. So when you see that nice confluence, often it means that you're going to get a significant pullback. So selling here, either way you would have cut it, would have saved you from this and a lot of heartache and stress and pain and fear as a trader. Going down to the 4-hour time frame, we are getting a long signal. Let's pull open our CC EMA. We are getting a long signal and a continuation long here, so you are in profit from that entry right now. Let's see here. But no confirmation from Wadatar, which is good, basically keeping you out of a particularly hairy trade as well. Elijah Finch asks if we can check Neo of Bitcoin. Of course. So I don't see any positions to be taking on Ethereum at this point in time. Of course, we are getting some long signals right here that Wadatar is not confirming, so I would not be taking those trades, especially based on the fact that the daily is telling me to be out of my position. So it was a good run, nice little last-minute continuation long, and these are the movements that we look for. So best of luck to everybody and trade safely. That's about all we've got for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Let's go look briefly at our fundamental data sets here. So, of course, we're going to look at longs. Let's get rid of Quadrigo ATR here briefly. There we go. Getting rid of longs and shorts. Longs having a pullback, obviously still quite bullish. We did get, and I forgot to mention it when we were in the moment. But right over here, let's see which candle actually generated that signal. The 21st of June. So right here, we did get an exit signal on our longs right here. So again, I prefer to use the technical system, but depending on how you are looking at this as well, again, you can just obviously see from that we would have this would have been telling us to exit your long position on the day right before we had some nice bullish expansion. So not a good system. Again, I prefer to use this as a confirmation indicator for whether to go long or to go short. So if price is technically bullish on the Bitcoin chart, and then I can look over at longs and longs are bullish as well, that is letting me know that I should be bullish and that there is equal amounts of individuals moving their money into long positions to actually back behind what they're doing. Utah asks, can I go over XRP? I'd love to. XRP BTC or XRP USD, just make sure to let me know. Utah. Any thoughts on altcoins? Will they explode up just like the last bull market? I don't know. I would assume that if Bitcoin goes very, very bullish, then yes, they would. The entire market will follow Bitcoin. Of course, alt to USD pairs and alt to USDT pairs have always been quite bullish. Again, I talked about this. I do trade alt to Bitcoin pairs. I'll take whatever signal my system gives me, but I do have a preference for trading alt to USD and USDT pairs because they move with more regularity. Honestly, alt to BTC trading, it's tricky, okay? Because it is misleading. Because you're making lots of money on Bitcoin, but it makes trading complicated because let's say you take an alt to Bitcoin trade and now all of a sudden price pumps up and you have a lot more Bitcoin. Okay, well, then you have to sell Bitcoin to USD to lock in your profits. So it adds another layer of complication for somebody like myself who just wants to trade and make money off trading. So there's nothing wrong with taking alt to Bitcoin trades, but I think the idea that there's so much more profit to be made in alt to Bitcoin trades is a misnomer. I actually think that there's more realistic profit. So it's very similar to, Wolf of Wall Street, where you have that conversation between, I think it was Bradley Cooper. I can't remember if it's Bradley Cooper and Leonardo DiCaprio, where he's like, these people are addicted. They're not going to cash in their profits. Meanwhile, we're making cold hard cash and commission. And that's exactly my mental approach to trading as well. While I am locking in profits, investors are crying, screaming, moving to the left, moving to the right, going through every dip and down, sending, angry, heated tweets at the coin developer that they've been holding bags into. And for that very reason, I will never be a bag holder, have never been a bag holder. And the only bag that I'm interested in holding is Bitcoin, although that is not quite correct. Of course, I do have investments in other altcoins as well, but of course, that has nothing to do with my trading. And of course, my primary source of income is my trading, and I look at investment as long-term holds for coins that I don't really care about. No. Let me rephrase that. Not long-term holds in coins that I don't really care about, but it's money that is put aside for a strategic purpose, and it's not all in cryptocurrency. I have investments in stocks. I have investment in bonds, in real estate, in franchises. One could argue vehicles. As well as foreign currencies and precious metals, as well as other commodities. Can I briefly discuss BitMEX versus ByBit? I'm new to leverage trading. I'm being extremely cautious with my leverage, and I never go over 15x. Also curious if I was to change leverage after my trade. So if you change your leverage after your trading, it's just going to adjust your liquidation price. It's also going to adjust the amount of margin that you have in your trade. So for example, if you open up a trade with 10x leverage and then switch it to 15x leverage, your margin is going to be reduced, i.e., your liquidation price is going to move up if you're in a long, and it's going to move down if you're in a short. Now, I do not like trading Bitcoin and Ethereum on BitMEX. Anything that I cannot trade on BitMEX, I will not trade on BitMEX. There's a lot of shenanigans that go down over on BitMEX for that very reason, and for the better customer service, for the better customer support, and for the ease of use. I use ByBit. It is the exchange that I utilize. I think it is a far superior platform. They have a better development team. They are more open. They are more honest. They are incorporated in Singapore, which has some of the strictest financial regulations. So the idea that they're going to exit scam, as opposed to literally BitMEX, which has basically gone out and said, in no uncertain terms, we're going to do whatever the hell we want, and you can't get us because we're incorporated where you can't touch us. So take that as you will. But I like customer service. Just directly, literally on the ByBit website, there's customer service right there in the bottom right-hand corner. You can open up live chat with the customer service rep anytime you want. And that is professional. That is the definition of professional. All right, so longs and shorts having a little bit of a pullback, longs exiting their positions and taking some profit. Let's take a look at shorts. Shorts continue to rise, so again, look at this as you will. There are a lot of individuals attempting to bet against Bitcoin at this point in time. Price is technically bullish, so again, reversal traders have a high tendency to be wrong. Typically, when we see a situation like this, what we will see is going to be a short squeeze, which means there is still additional profit opportunities, but because of the hairiness of the situation, not really the trade I recommend taking as a longer time frame positional trader. Looking over at Bitcoin dominance, Bitcoin dominance continues to rise. This is not good for alt to BTC pairs. This is good for Bitcoin. This is also very good for alt to USD pairs in general. Looking at the dominance of Tether continues to drop. This is also very, very bullish for the market for this very reason. I will continue to bet on price continuing to move up rather than against it moving down. That does not mean that there is a position to take right now. Okay, that pretty much sums up our majors: Bitcoin, Ethereum, dominance, and longs and shorts. Thank you guys for watching. That's not the end of the show, though. Don't go anywhere. Let's take a gander here. So let's just say 30. So now we're going to get into our traditional markets. S&Ps, our E-minis, our commodities, our precious metals, and we're also going to look at our Forex markets. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back. We're going to cover the major news of the day, and then we're going to take your user-submitted chart requests. So let's get into that. So we're going to pull open our CFDs on Awanda, the broker where I trade. Let's move into the S&P 500 CFD. Obviously started pumping a little bit last night as we opened up, and as we can see, so S&P 500 today, the CFD had a big pump up pretty significantly, but overall been in a little bit of a downtrend for the majority of the day. Let's actually go look at the daily. Still riding a continuation long that we would have received over here. Let's actually see if we would have gotten the indication to exit. Okay, so the indication to exit occurred afterwards, so we have to take that with a grain of salt. Now, this is what we will be relying on because we have to use our continuation signal and we have to use our continuation indicator because our VGI was a little bit behind and giving an exit from a previous trade, the long, not the continuation long. So difficult to reset. The only way we could do that is by changing the look back period, which would alter the indication itself. So for this purpose and in this situation, we're going to have to go ahead and use MINX as an exit indicator. So our S&P CFD long trade for the S&P 500, continuation long over here. Let's actually take a look. Have we hit all of our take profit targets? Continuation long here, 1, 2. We've hit 2 of 3 take profits. Still have a third limit order sitting up here in the books, but MINX is signaling for us to exit our long trade on today's candle. So exiting the traditional trade on the S&P 500. We've been very bullish on this, taking multiple long trades and calling for multiple long trades on the S&P 500 CFD. And congratulations to those who have been taking those trades. Very bullish still on markets. We're above the daily baseline. Price looks quite good. Volume is dropping off. Water is still looking quite bullish as well. And MINX is obviously above the zero line, but it is time to go ahead and take profit and wait to reposition. Let's head over to our E-minis real quick. Again, the same thing. If we look at the S&P E-mini contract, we would have taken another continuation long here and look at this beautiful bullish activity moving to the upside. Again, trades like this is exactly what our system is designed to do. You can utilize PTP, whether you're trading CME, whether you're trading traditional markets, metals, oils, commodities, futures. It's the money management, the strategy, and the technical indications that allow us to profit from any market. Now, our S&P trade was highly successful, again, hitting all 3 of 3 take profit levels. And again, MINX signaling for an early exit on today's candle. So time to go ahead and get out of your CME trades. Similarly, if we go over to the NQ, another continuation long, we hit not 3 of 3, but 2 of 3 take profit targets and getting the indication to exit the long trade today. And going over to the Dow, we got the continuation long over here on the 13th of June. I believe we hit we did hit 3 of 3 take profits on that as well. Maybe by the skin of our teeth on that one. I'd have to really pull out the calculator and double check. But regardless, I know for a fact we've hit 2 of 3 and getting the exit signal on today's candle. So time to go ahead and get out of our Dow trades. Looking over at the Russell 1000. Russell 1000 having a more of a pronounced pullback, so some would consider this a leading indicator of the other indices as well. Again, long signal over here that was confirmed and a continuation long over here. Either way you want to cut it, our Russell 1000 trades on the E-minis have been very successful, and it's time to go ahead and get out of our position. We would have actually been out of our position at the close of last week after we got an early exit signal from Minx, and if we were listening to our sensitive exit indicator, then the RVGI is now signaling us to get out now. Looking at the VIX, VIX is about 15.4. Beautiful volatility, great time to trade. And quickly looking over at GLD Commods, again, beautifully bullish on gold as always. We've hit 3 of 3 take profits on GLD. And honestly, any position of your trade should just be left running on your GLD Commods. All right, getting on over to back to the CFDs and looking at precious metals on Awanda. I would not be trading, SIBO Commods because of the taxation on them. So, because they're Section 1256 tax purposes, so 60% long-term capital gains, 40% short-term capital gains. But the problem with SIBO Commods are that you're going to be taxed mark to market, i.e. you're going to be paying taxes on your paper profits at the end of the year, regardless of whether you close your trades. So looking at ZAO USD, which is what I would be taking on my broker Awanda, we'll be returning to Forex and precious metal trading here shortly. We're going to be introducing Coinbase here shortly, and then we're going to be introducing Forex trading again to the Kraken cryptocurrency community at the third quarter. So continuation long over here on the 17th of June. And again, your ZAO trade is just doing absolutely beautiful. I believe now at this point in time, we've hit 3 of 3 take profits. So holding any position left over with a trailing stop. Palladium continues to absolutely boom. We are getting a continuation long on the close of today's candle. So again, an opportunity to re-long Palladium. And again, as I said, I bought a bunch of physical Palladium a while ago. I can't do it that often because I have to buy certain amounts from the broker. It's how I do things. And again, just continuing to do quite well. Looking over at silver doing a little bit of consolidation up here at the top. Again, continuation long. Haven't gotten the exit signal from RVGI. Neither have we gotten the signal to exit from Minx. So again, just sitting in our silver long. We've hit 2 of 3 take profits, so stop loss at break even. Platinum, again, do nothing with platinum. Platinum is doing nothing but throwing up some terrible, terrible signals right now. And gold to silver. Beautiful trade. We talked about the long trade, the continuation long over here, and now sitting in a good trade. We haven't quite hit first take profit target yet, but doing good. Bentley Crude having a little bit of a pullback after our initial long trade on this, but not giving an indication to exit the trade yet. Still quite bullish on crude oil. Corn consolidating, no trade to be taken. Natural gas pushing all the way back up to the baseline. So kicking us out, let's see here. So initial short trade right here that we would have taken here, hit 2 of 3 take profits and now getting stopped out at break even. So our natural gas short was a success. Now pushing back to the baseline, you can go ahead and take the reversal trade off the baseline if you want, but not something I'm going to be doing myself. Soybeans, again, no trade to take, just consolidation. And again, sugar, no trade to be taking. No trade to take as well. Now that we've dropped below the baseline, back tested and rejected from resistance, actually, I think a short would be in order. And of course, West Texas oil continues to be quite bullish after hitting our first and our second take profit target on today. We actually hit our second take profit target on our West Texas oil long. And so price continues to move to the upside. Make sure to update your stop losses and continue on accordingly. And wheat, we did talk about not a long trade. The long was not confirmed. However, we are getting a continuation long on wheat now. So the only commodity that I can see taking long is wheat right now. So if you're trading the CFD, that's absolutely fine. Looking over at the Japanese 225, just for fun. Continuation long over here that hit our first TP. Price reversing and getting us out at our exit. So now price is back at the baseline. Nothing to do on the JP 225. Moving into our major Forex pairs. If you guys have any Forex requests, make sure to let me know. Aussie yen, nothing to do. Aussie dollar continues to be a good long. We talked about taking that long on Friday, and again, waking up to a beautiful bullishness and quite a few pips today. The Canadian Swissy continues to be a short trade, hitting a second of third take profit target on that. The Canadian yen, not a trade to take. Again, the last long that we took was a loss. Nothing to do right now. Looking at the Swissy yen, we talked about the long trade previously. You would have had the opportunity to get the pullback potentially on today's candle, but unlikely unless you're using different metrics. However, it is a long biased to the long side. Euro Aussie is actually throwing up a continuation long today and giving you a nice pullback into our buy zone between the baseline and the qualifying line. So the Euro Aussie actually looks quite good. And the Euro CAD is still a do nothing trade. I talked about a do nothing trade on this on Friday, even though a lot of people were excited about the Euro CAD. Nothing to do. The Euro Swissy continues to be a beautiful short, hitting 2 of 3 take profit targets so far. The Euro Kiwi is a long trade in my opinion. You can open up that long trade today. The Euro Pound, is a continuation long. We are getting a euro pound continuation long trade today, so that is another opportunity for us to ramp this back up, baby. The euro yen is a long on today's candle. The euro dollar was a long that was not confirmed. So glad we're kind of staying out of this one, unless you were using a little bit more sensitive system, and that way you would have gotten in potentially on Thursday. And if so, you would be pretty doing well on your euro yen trade or euro dollar trade, up quite a few pips. Again, stay out of the pound Kiwi. There's way too much chop going on right now, as I said on Friday. The pound Canadian continues to be a continuation short. The pound Aussie, nothing to do. The pound Swissy is still a short. The pound yen is a do nothing trade. You could take the reversal short off of the baseline. Pound dollar was a long on Friday, continues to be a long today. Kiwi dollar continues to be a long, not quite hitting our first take profit target yet, but I'm quite bullish on the Kiwi dollar. And the Kiwi CAD, nothing. Kiwi Swissy, nothing, continues to be a short. The dollar yen, or excuse me, the Kiwi yen, watch very closely for a long trade. The dollar CAD, nothing. The dollar Swissy continues to be a short. The dollar yen continues to be a short. The Aussie CAD is a nothing trade. The Aussie Swissy is a continuation short still. And the dollar yuan is a nothing trade. I would not be exiting my short yet. All right, so that goes for our major Forex pairs. Thank you guys so much. It is 12:41. It is 12:41, so we've got plenty of time to look at a few interesting things now that we have blown past our traditional markets, our metals, our oils, our CFDs, our commods, and our Forex pairs. So let's get back over into the live scene and let's do some chat, guys. We'll just hang out for a little bit, for about 15 minutes, and then we'll take our break, and then we'll get into user-submitted requests, and we'll go over some news. We might even start getting into some news. Getting over here and commenting on DLive. Ugochill, what's going on, my good friend? He says, you continue to amaze me with clarity of your thoughts. Just do what you do, brother. Thank you so much, my good friend. Yeah, kind of a bit incognito. Beautiful summer weather, sunlight is smashing through the windows, trades going just fine. Justin on the screen and speakers, it is perfect. Awesome, man. Glad to hear you're doing well, and thank you so much for the continued support, my good friend, over there on DLive, guys. All right. Yeah, kind of in full streaming mode today, guys. So let's actually expand the chat. Let's do a little chat engagement. You guys are being very busy today. Thank you so much for the over 1,000 people watching us across YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I have no stats on Roku, but obviously pretty excited about that. Kyle Kangas, what's going on, my good friend? Texas Blues, good to see you. Mr. Ether, what's up to you, my good friend? Burning Legion, can you recommend an exchange in the United States? Coinbase Pro, Wabi, Bittrex, Kraken. You can't have ByBit in the United States. You would have to use a VPN, sir. No women allowed. Women are allowed to do anything they like. What is the easiest way to get OHLC data over into Excel? Probably download the CSV. A Burning Legion says, good, but Facebook needs to go down. I feel you. And Kit, what's going on, my good friend? ON 799, same level as in around 11,000. I'm not sure what that question is in reference to, but I'm just going to say yes on the danger of sounding like an idiot. Cogito Ergo Zoom says, I quit Facebook 3 years ago. I feel you. What the Fact says, what indicators do you use? Mostly proprietary indicators. However, you can utilize CC EMA, CC Ichimoku, and of course, there's got to be another one. Oh, Wadatar Explosion, which is an indicator that I use on a daily basis for my daily trading. Randall Krotz says, just got back here. Buy, sell, or hold. It depends on what strategy you're using, my good friend. It's all over social media that Calibra will kill ZERP and XLM. What are your thoughts? I think it's highly likely. Dark Rico, I hope you're having a good day too, my good friend. ByBit doesn't allow me to stop loss on a full position. It does. It auto half position close, and I was screwed once. That is you making a mistake, sir, because ByBit does not have any such requirement or rule or weird whack-a-noodle thing. Again, I don't mean that disparagingly. However, often the mistakes that we think are in exchanges are our mistakes. What the Fact says, when would you say it is a suitable time to enter when my system tells me to go long? LiveLoveorDice, play BTC, up 300%. Congratulations, man. Hope you made profit off of that. Don't watch CNBC, worst place for news. I highly agree. What the fact says, at Dark Rico, I can use market, but it's high on fees, so I tried the stop loss and it closed only half of my position. Happened twice to me. Again, you have to be doing something wrong. I'm sorry, man. You can contact ByBit customer service or support. They're pretty good at what they do. And the fees are no higher than anywhere else, my good friend. The fees are messing up your trade than it is your position sizing relative to your capital that is being your downside. Randall Krotz, Ricky Thompson, are you the caps monitor? Well, you know, it's just rude to come into a chat and type in all caps and nobody else is, man. But can't use ByBit in the United States. Again, using ByBit or BitMEX or Bitfinex is not against United States regulation. It is against the exchange's terms of service. You can utilize a VPN if you would like to still use them. What is this 100x Bitfinex leverage you're talking about? Well, the fact that Bitfinex is going to introduce 100x leverage. What the fact? Do I see Ethereum dumping? No, not necessarily. Hey, Justin, have you heard about the FATF's new initiative that imposed regulations on crypto exchanges? Do you think this will affect non-KYC exchanges, i.e. MEX, Deribit, ByBit? Nope, I do not. All that they could possibly do is boost up their geo-blocking. So there's nothing BitMEX can do to stop you from using a VPN. The technology does not exist for them to do that realistically. By the way, I know I missed something, so let me pull this up. I'm so sorry. I saw it and then I didn't comment on it. Megastroke, thank you so much for the subscription over there on YouTube. And Wally, man, thank you so much for the $15 super chat, my good friend. He says no donations yet. Well, we got a donation now. Let's get it started. Bull run sentiments your way to you and yours. How about another look at BTC Neo on Binance? I got you, my good friend. Of course, thank you so much for the support. And Wally, I don't know if you noticed, but you were another crypto winner. So get a hold of me in the Discord, man, and I will tip you some even more crypto. Thank you so much for supporting the community, my good friend. Jeff Hansen, thank you so much for the CAD 5, my good friend. I'm going to throw that on a Wanda, my good buddy. He says, not enough likes, need more likes. Smash the like. Hulk, smash like. Thanks so much, Jeff. Highly appreciate that, man. You are one of the good ones, my good friend. Try a new keyboard. Yeah, if your keyboard's stuck in all caps, I guess you should only say things like, this stream is awesome. Rob Star Global, yes, kind of moved pretty fast, man. Bob the Builder, good to see you, my good friend. Paul, I'm glad you like the t-shirt, my good friend. Bruce Master says, I can watch as I'm on a business trip. Yeehaw, man. Blockchain Gain says, working, I'll be listening from here on. Justin, did I miss XRP? No, we did not, my good friend. Oh, it's all good, Bob. Love you, brother. The world is not anymore the way it used to be. Yes, absolutely, man. Are your trading indicators accessible to us? Yeah, some of them are. Some of them are only available to subscribers to the premium trading group. So they are all available. Some are available to the public, like Wadatar Explosion. Of course, you can go to indicators.crackingcryptocurrency.com. That's indicators.crackingcryptocurrency.com to access all my public indicators. But some are only available to subscribers to the premium trading group. Minx, Quadrigo position sizing, Quadrigo ATR. Having a silly brain fart. And time transformation, excuse me. Do I think Bitcoin hits 40,000? Eventually, yes. Haven't caught up on yesterday's yet, so I'm glad to hear the news. I like the live shows, amazing energy for my day. Thanks, man. I try to keep it fun. There's nothing unfun about trading crypto, man. There's nothing unfun about what we do. This is the best thing. Let's go check out the bubbles, guys. What are the bubbles doing? All right, so make sure that we're looking at the last day. And Lamb up 32%, QuantCoin up 14.2%, Hypercash up, Eternity up, BitShares dent, EKT and NRG. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I keep getting like DMs in the Discord. I keep getting more NRG. So I think that's Mr. Ether. Thank you so much for getting me onto that, my good friend. Thanks, Randall Cross. Let's see here. Overall, pretty good day in the market. NEO up another 4.4%, so that's also good. Of course, we're long on NEO. So, pretty good day in the market. Let's look at the last hour. Getting a little bit of a pullback across the board, honestly, over the last hour with INB. Next, get ready. Be gone, you. NAS, BCN, INB, hot. So overall, just like smaller cap coins kind of getting hit the worst. Of course, they're more liquid anyways, or less liquid anyways, so they're more subject to volatile price swings. All right, so we've got about 10 minutes left before we go to break. So why don't we break into one of the news segments? So let's just break that down. I'm going to slide the chat over here, I do believe. All right, so we've got a couple interesting articles for you guys today. So first off, we're going to get to this one just because it's fun. This is coming from CCN. Now, obviously, we've had a lot of vocal proponents and detractors about Facebook's new Libra coin. And of course, this channel and this influencer has made my views very, very clear. I think I've made the views of our team and our network very clear. However, we haven't had such harsh of a reprobation, however, than the one that came from Michael Dougherty. He's a senior writer for the National Review. Now, there is a certain element or a certain demographic of our viewers that are going to lean more toward the right, who are probably fans of Michael Dougherty, who are probably fans or supporters or sympathizers or aware of what's going on in this particular space. Now, this is a more complex topic because this is not just cryptocurrency. There is patriotism wrapped up in this. Some would say nationalism. There are views of government wrapped up in this, which of course we try to hit the heavy hitting stuff on this channel. So we will do our best to describe this and talk about what we think. Now, he has called, now obviously it was a joke, but he has basically called for America to launch a nuclear attack on Facebook for what he says is a direct assault on America's sovereignty via their national currency. So he begins by talking about, and this is a hot topic issue in the space right now, U.S. Senator Josh Hawley's, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, I think it's Haley, Internet Censorship Bill. Now, this legislation we've talked about before, this is the Ending Support for Internet Censorship Act. This is a bill that has been proposed in Congress, and it would require, in part, giant companies like Facebook and Google to prove that their algorithms and content removal policies are politically neutral to continue to receive the current immunity that they have from traditional publishing liabilities. So we talked about this yesterday a little bit in depth when we were talking about decentralized social media platforms. So it is my ardent belief the platforms like Facebook, Google, Twitter, all of them, they have the right to remove and censor whatever content they want if they make the rules very clear, if they make the community guidelines very clear for what that content is. And if you don't want to use their platform, then you can go somewhere else or build something better. This is how better technologies are built, and I will not buy the idea that they're just so powerful, behemoth. The reason I will never accept that argument is because that is presupposed on the fact that human beings are powerless. Human beings are not powerless. We have an infinite tap and reserve of energy and strength. There is nothing. Facebook is not a goddamn unbeatable Goliath. Google is not an unbeatable Goliath. The United States government is not an unbeatable Goliath. The central bank of the United States is not an unbeatable Goliath. The Illuminati are not Goliaths. The aliens are not Goliaths. We can crash and smash them all, dude. Have more faith in your species, for the love of God. It's just a problem. Refer back to the original story of David and Goliath and why it is important psychologically, and what its meanings are fundamentally. Human beings are David, and these dumb entities are Goliath. We have the power to defeat them, okay? All we have to do is use our smarts, use our courage, use our bravery, use our wits to defeat them, which we will. Every empire that has ever stood up and tried to maintain dominance over humanity has crashed, fell, burned, rotted from the inside. So I don't think it doesn't matter what Facebook does. It matters in the now. But if we're talking about broader ideas of humanity's evolution, I'm bullish on mankind. Okay? Now, I've often said that in day-to-day life, lots of people are stupid, small, fragile, petty, meaningless, whatever. But overall, mankind, because I haven't met an alien species yet, is the best species around, all right? We are capable of beautiful things. We are capable of poetry and music and love and courage and bravery and awesomeness and writing amazing things and building amazing things and developing solutions to our technology. And again, I can only speak for myself, but I feel like it's pretty amazing to be alive. This is all I know. I'm pretty ambivalent about what comes after death. Who knows? Nobody knows. There's so many religions around the world that have conflicting ideas and stories all clamoring for my attention. So how about I just do me and try to be a good person and improve the life around me, because I've noticed that I enjoy my life more when other people try their best to improve my life, right? So my existence is not only for me. I'm here to benefit other people with the effort of my life, and I think that is the natural progression of mankind. So, mankind is capable of defeating Facebook. I don't care what they do in the short term. Good triumphs over evil in the long run, unfortunately, for evil. Now, that was to get pretty philosophical, but let's get back to the Ending Support for Internet Censorship Act. As I said, it would require companies like Facebook, Google, Twitter to prove that their platforms are politically neutral if they want to maintain their immunity from restrictions that the government has already on things like publishers. So the Wall Street Journal, magazines or publishers that actually actively act as content filtration systems themselves and have fiat ability to remove or promote a certain point of view do not have the certain protections that Facebook and Google have from the content that is on their platform. And this is very convenient for Google, Facebook, Twitch, blah, 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 because that means that they don't have to take any responsibility for what is published on their platform. So they are not liable if somebody who uses their platform commits slander or libel against somebody else. They're not responsible if somebody on their platform publishes illegal things, for example. But the nice benefit for them as well is because they are utilizing that tool to basically also, on the other hand, so take with the right hand, give with the left hand, they are also generally imposing what would be considered more socially progressive concepts and ideals of content removal. So, regulating things like hate speech, regulating things like, violence or racism and whatever. And there, in certain aspects, I support that. That's absolutely fine. I'm certainly not on this channel pro-racism or anything like that. I'm very, very anti-racism, actually. But my entire point is that they're able to take advantage of this wiggle space in between the rules by not having clearly defined rules for what hate speech is or for whatever they want to legislate or filter for content on their platform. And I don't think that's right. If you're going to filter content, which you have every right to do, the rules need to be very clearly defined, because if you're going to have rules, they need to be applied objectively to everyone. There cannot be room for subjective interpretation of rules. There's no room for that in trading. That leads to defeat. And when it comes to social policy like this, that is the beginning of tyranny and oppression. When you have a centralized authority that can basically, by fiat authority, apply rules differentially to different individuals based on their own interpretation of what's going on, that sets up the door for tyranny and oppression, and that's not okay. Anytime you're going to invest in any institution with authority and then you're going to give them a rule set, you have to clearly define those rules so that everybody is on equal playing grounds, because once you invest authority in a central location, you have already changed the dynamic of fairness and liberty for human beings. So I have no problem with them censoring any content that they want on their platforms. They have every right to do that, but they do need to issue rules, or I think that the government is right in removing their immunity from being liable for what's published on their platform. Hey, Twitter, if you want to be leftist, which is, again, we're socially agnostic on this channel, although I am not. If Twitter wants to push progressive agendas, which they have every right to do, and I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, okay, because not all progressive agendas are bad, okay? Again, people need to talk and compromise. There's a lot of wiggle room for a lot of these things to work together, right? That's cognitive dissonance that a lot of people suffer from. But if you're not going to tell us what the rules are and you're just going to arbitrarily censor content, then you're on some bullshit, and I have a problem with that. So, we talked about the need for these platforms to provide rules and to choose whether they're going to be a neutral platform or a publisher regulating content, because right now they're claiming to be one but acting as another. Now, critics of Haley's bill state that it is unconstitutional and threatens to break the internet. I disagree, but whatever. However, Michael Dougherty claims that Facebook is a spy and that America would be ludicrous to allow such a company to compete with their national currency, i.e. their national sovereignty. I wonder how he feels about Bitcoin. So he says, and I quote, In one way, the bill doesn't go far enough in reference to Haley's bill. The government's appropriate response to an enormous, unaccountable spy agency that's launching a currency that it wants to compete with the US dollar is to nuke it from space. And the fallout should land wherever it does across California. I don't care anymore. Now, obviously, that's a joke. Now, this person is the National Review, obviously leans toward the right. So, again, the right typically doesn't like California for reasons that shouldn't be very unclear. He continues by saying, my card's on the table. I think Facebook is extremely harmful and dangerous. I think it's dangerous in the way it collects information. I think it's dangerous in the way that it concentrates that information in a way that makes the data pile almost like nuclear waste that has to be regulated. So there's a lot in that statement to elicit a pretty hearty amen from Bitcoin maximalists like myself and other critics of crypto industry centralization. So we just might not agree with the whole nuclear thing, but it is an interesting comment. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I don't really want to push further into that because I don't want to push my view and opinion on you. I'd like to see what you guys think. So it is 1 o'clock on the hour, so we're going to go to break. We're going to take a brief break. And when we come back, we're going to continue covering topics like this. Now, before we go, if you are tired of getting wicked out of your position in your trading on BitMEX, if you are tired of your orders not getting filled, and if you're in general tired of all the unsavory shenanigans over on BitMEX, but you love trading Bitcoin futures, then I recommend you check out the exchange that I trade on, which is ByBit. ByBit is currently my favorite exchange. It is the exchange that I trade on. It is the exchange that I trust with the majority of my capital. I absolutely love their customer service, their ease of use, their platform. I like their roadmap. They're good people. I've talked to the team. I like the fact that they're secure. They're based in Singapore. The idea is that they'll exit scam, which is always an issue when choosing an exchange. Again, we've talked about this before. The 3 things that exchanges need to have: security, ease of use, customer service. BitMEX checks almost none of those boxes. ByBit checks them all. So if you guys want to trade on the exchange where I trade at, you can, of course, check out bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Using the link does support the channel, but regardless of what you do, I recommend that you go check out ByBit if you want to trade Bitcoin futures and you don't want to trade on BitMEX, which I don't. So that's bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you want to show some love while we are on break, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, share, and engage in the live chat. And we'll be right back in just a few moments, guys. Okay, guys, and we are back. Thank you for hanging in there, and let's get into the chat, man. Let's get into the chat. Let's turn some tunes on, and let's get a little cool with it, guys. Let's get a little cool with it. You guys are awesome today. It's a good day. Now, if you guys think I'm jacked up already, then prepare to turn, if you guys are listening later on the podcast at breakingbitcoin.crackincryptocurrency.com, well, perhaps you were listening to the show in 1.5 speed. You're going to have to turn that all the way down to 1, because this, coming from a user-submitted request, is a Venom energy drink, Black Mamba. Now, again, I don't normally drink energy drinks. In fact, I don't have a lot of experience with them. I think that they're mostly poison, but I am on a break from the keto diet right now, just necessary to kind of rebalance the body out, get back in a normal state, and running a little bit behind today. So Black Mamba it is. It tastes good. You know, one of the things when you never have sugar in your life is that this thing is almost way too sweet, but you know, we'll go for it. It's got active ingredients of I don't know, water, corn syrup, poison, but I repeat myself. And then I don't know, I can't pronounce half of that stuff, so it's got to be good for you, right? It's got to be good for you. If it's got stuff you can't pronounce, it's got to be healthy, right? Okay, so we're just going to hop here while we engage with the chat. I'm kind of interested to hear your guys' comments on what we just covered. Yeah, Zach Coma, that is correct. Futures contracts are not taxed like property. They are taxed like Section 1256. Our futures contracts taxed in the United States. So 60% of your gains are taxed as long-term capital gains, and 40% are taxed as short-term capital gains. The other addition to Section 1256 taxes regulation is that they are marked to market, i.e., when the fiscal year ends, or when the economic year ends, you do have to pay taxes on paper profits, regardless of whether you closed your position out or not. That is what kills commodity futures. So commodity futures is marked to market. So often individuals, when trading commodity futures, are holding ETFs that hold commodity futures. They have to pay. Often individuals or positional traders will hold their positions for years, if not longer, on certain commodities, and they are taxed on their paper profits at the end of the year. That is the definition of market to market, and Bitcoin contracts are no different. They're Section 1256. Ricky Thompson says, "Can you put up your link to TradingView to your public indicators from TV?" I think Scott probably did that. Should put that on a shirt or a bumper sticker. Have a DMT experience. No comment. Anyone else want to join me in my yacht when we reach 100K BTC? Eli, I'll be right there with you, my brother. Yes. Steven Crowder does have a good point, Scott. Curtis says, they just kicked me off Facebook for posting the truth about World War II. No sex, no cursing, no hate, just the truth. They will do that, man. Excuse me. Check out the Google Insider blows whistle on Google's agenda. It's a very good video. They definitely have their own agenda, man. Marlon Jones says, I thought we don't care about fundamentals and news here. No, but it's good to talk about, man. Noah's book is Bolshevism. Bolshevism doesn't work in a free country. I can dislike whoever I want. Correct. Dutch Crypto Review says I'm so awake. Hashtag woke. Anybody have thoughts on Bitrue in replacement of Binance? I'm not familiar with them. Ricky Thompson says, problem is that Facebook is centralized and Bitcoin is decentralized. Centralized is what fiat currency is and is controlled by the government. Facebook with that much power is problematic for government. A big corporation getting B. I think Wu-Tang used this beat or Tribe Called Quest. LiveLoveorDice says, play BTC. Yeah, man, I got you. Let's see if I pop that down here in the requests. You can eat and drink whatever you want as long as the good stuff outweighs the bad. Correct. Sponsored? No. Not sponsored. Not sponsored. But could be. Venom, reach out to me, man. Is there a measured move to the upside if we break 20K? High. Let's see here. Eli, back, my good man. Thank you so much for the $5 through Super Chat. He says, I wish I had truckloads to give to you. You're the best, my man. No, you are the best, my man. All I do is provide the outline. All I do is provide the strategy. You guys are the ones going in and killing it, man. Ricky, yeah, keto has done great things for my life. I get people who say that keto is bad for you. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Ermless Tesfam says, is the Wadatar indicator effective on shorter time frames? Yes, in fact, Wadatar explosion was designed for the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, Monster does make those sugar-free ones, but for some reason, I feel like they put more bad stuff in there than good stuff to make them sugar-friendly. But again, as long as the good is outweighing the bad, you're all right. You just need to have a good, healthy biosphere, healthy, good gut bacteria. Hashtag probiotics. Hashtag yogurt, man. All right, anyways. Okay, so moving on to a few more news segments here. All right, so why Americans need to focus on decentralized exchange liquidity now, okay? And this is coming from over at cryptobriefing.com. So, in the past couple of months, obviously we've talked about this a lot. We've talked about Binance, Poloniex, Bittrex, and Bancor have all decided to exclude U.S. customers in certain ways due to regulatory concerns. This has taken the form of either directly excluding U.S. customers from using their platform, creating different platforms for U.S. customers, or significantly reducing the amount of tokens or coins that an individual can trade if they are in the United States. Other exchanges, obviously, such as BitMEX and Bitfinex, have already blocked U.S. citizens in totality since 2017. Now, nearly 15% of all Binance customers are from the United States. Some numbers actually jump up to 30%. Now, let's talk about what is that going to mean directly. When they actually end up excluding customers from Binance, which is going to take place September 12th, U.S. customers will no longer be able to use Binance.com. They will have to use the Binance.us site that Binance is currently constructing, or probably maybe already has constructed for the most part. It's just not public. Now, what are we going to see? We're going to see reductions in altcoin liquidity because that capital, that liquidity has to go somewhere. And honestly, you're just going to see people exit the market. Now, obviously, the goal, the hope is that we have more capital flow into the markets from the excitement over cryptocurrency in the first place to try to counterbalance that out. But I do not see how markets will not be impacted by this. Now, what are going to be effects of reduction in altcoin liquidity? Well, this article talks about three potential outcomes, which is going to be a reduction in overall liquidity, so more demand for Bitcoin, more demand and centralization of the market cap against our larger cap coins, because the U.S. customers are going to have access to the larger cap coins and not so much the smaller cap coins. There's going to be less access and liquidity in the smaller coins themselves, most likely leading to price decline, which is the biggest fear, obviously, for long-term investors or so not really for traders, because a trader like myself is always going to find an opportunity in the market for anything. We use our strategy to determine that. But for investors, this is a death knell potentially for a lot of their smaller holdings, for their micro caps. Now, what is something that we might see as a result of this? I've talked about, I think that we're going to see other exchanges. I think that Binance is going to see a reduction in liquidity, obviously. I think that we're going to see enhanced liquidity on sites like Bittrex, Coinbase, Poloniex, and also Wabi Pro, the exchange formerly known as HBUS. Now, I would be betting on Coinbase, because Coinbase of all the exchanges has the greatest security, has the greatest regulation. Bittrex is also another good one as well. However, one could argue that Bittrex is going to be even more restrictive. And we have to talk about liquidity, obviously, on the exchanges as well. Obviously, Bittrex and Coinbase have okay liquidity for a retail trader, but for institutional traders, which is what we need for a lot of liquidity, that might be a concern. So we have already decided that as a trading group, we are going to start trading on Coinbase. In fact, I've already made my Coinbase watch list. We don't have a lot of coins to trade on there, but we will be trading on Coinbase moving forward and providing signals and setups and strategy specific to Coinbase as we continue to move forward with our trading. Now, what would be the best thing to see would be a rush to decentralized exchanges. Now, we talked a lot about decentralized exchanges yesterday, and honestly, we talk about them frequently, and the fact that decentralized exchanges are the future, but they're definitely not the present. That you have ease of use, which is a nightmare on decentralized exchanges. You have liquidity, which is a nightmare on decentralized exchanges. And you have customer service, which does not exist, as far as I'm aware, on any decentralized exchange because they're decentralized. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have customer service to a degree, right? That doesn't mean that a platform cannot build customer service around a decentralized exchange. Go see Binance, for example, but Binance's customer service is pretty terrible, honestly, as opposed to Coinbase's customer service, which is marginally better. But honestly, I'm just telling you guys, as opposed to ByBit's customer service is fantastic. That's why I like ByBit. You guys might not take this as seriously as I do, but legitimately, like when selecting anything to do with my life, customer service plays such a big part, plays such a big role in what I want to do. If I have to call your platform, if I have a problem for any reason, if I cannot call your customer service or contact your customer service, we have an issue. And one of my hugest pet peeves is picking up the customer service line and getting somebody who does not speak my native language. That is infuriating to me. It continues to bother me every single day, and I will not generally trade on exchanges that do not allow me to contact their customer service. So serious effects of Binance withdrawing. So I would watch for liquidity to improve on Coinbase and Wabi and Bittrex. So this article posits that the answer for many Americans will be using real decentralized exchanges, peer-to-peer decentralized non-custodial. The peer-to-peer decentralized non-custodial and uncensorable nature of these exchanges put them in a regulatory loophole that makes it difficult for the government to shut down. So obviously we are going to have that bastion to go to trade whatever we want to do, because decentralized exchanges cannot censor you, cannot stop you from doing what you want to do. Now, for example, the Binance.org does geo-block you. However, so that does make it difficult for a retail trader to just go. Again, guys, check out a VPN. If you guys want to use the VPN that I use, that I think supports the crypto community the best, that would be Windscribe. You guys can use Windscribe if you like at windscribe.krakencryptocurrency.com. That's windscribe.krakencryptocurrency.com. If you use that link, you can sign up for free. You can actually get free bandwidth. They don't track you. They don't log any data. You can sign up anonymously, and you can pay them in crypto if you upgrade to their premium, which I do recommend because that's unlimited bandwidth. Now, what do I think this means? I think this is actually good for the price of Bitcoin, bad for the price of a lot of small altcoins in the short term. All right, so getting right along here. So in the footsteps of BitMEX, this is coming from Crypto Potato, Bitfinex exchange to allow 100x leveraged trading. So popular currency exchange Bitfinex is apparently going to extend its margin trading capabilities, according to their CTO, Paulo Arduino. Hopefully I did not pronounce that anywhere near correct, but good enough to not get death threats. But if you have a death threat, again, you can leave it in the comment down below. The new developments will allow traders to use as much as 100x leverage. So, this is coming from a tweet from Paulo Arduano, as we can see here. Paulo says it will be an optional instrument, no change to our current margin offerings. Somebody's saying, but it affects all the market if some people use 100x, even if others are responsible and only use 3.3. He says, we have quite a steep margin requirement enforcement with position increases. I'm proud of the results and the protections we have. Of course, we will have to learn from experience. So the derivatives Bitcoin market will be a separate book to the standard Bitcoin margin market. So this will not directly affect the regular margin markets. This will be a separate market where you can go up to 100x long or short. And it will only be available for verified customers. And Bytorian says, let me guess, step 1, print tether to artificially inflate price. Step 2, allow retail to FOMO and liquidity accumulate. Step 3, open up a 100x short at a predetermined top. Step 4, dump and wreck noobs by scam wick, liquidating all longs on the way down. Wash, rinse, and repeat. You know, here's the problem with this, man, is you get this shit all the time. People who think they're clever by saying that exchanges are in cahoots to manipulate everything. Now, guaranteed, there is lots of shenanigans that go on in exchanges, but let me just say something very, very, very clear to you. Exchanges like Bitfinex, even though I've been very, very critical of them in the past for their screw-ups, even though I'm not very positive in my nature of Bitfinex, and BitMEX being the exact same thing, let's just talk about something very important. BitMEX, Bitfinex, ByBit, all these exchanges, everybody wants to throw them in the absolute, the worst conspiracy theory corner. So first off, you ungrateful people would not have any opportunity to profit off cryptocurrency the way that you do if those exchanges didn't exist. So first off, check your privilege. The only time you'll ever hear me say check your privilege. The other aspect is this. Do you have any idea how much money exchanges make? They make money off of liquidity. They make money off of incentivizing people to trade on their platforms. They do not make all their money by liquidating everybody out of their positions. In fact, that would push people off of their platform theoretically, and they understand that. If you guys have ever, and everybody who thinks they're clever in this space has never traded in traditional markets, has no idea how traditional markets work, has never worked at an exchange, has no backing, has no real information, and they just feel clever by posting up this conspiracy theory bullshit. So let me give you guys the truth. There is manipulation in the cryptocurrency markets. There is manipulation in the currency market. There's manipulation in traditional markets, of course. But it's generally not coming from the exchanges because the exchanges don't need to worry about the chump change that they might make off any one individual position. They make their money day in and day out through their business model, okay? They're not interested in incinerating their business model. They're interested in incentivizing more people to utilize their platform, okay? In fact, exchanges don't care which way price goes, generally. Now, obviously, Binance has an interest in cryptocurrency not tanking, but if there's liquidity in the markets and it's moving up and it's moving down and you're having a stable amount of users, that is what exchanges are profiting off of day in and day out. There is no need to go to this massive conspiracy theory, oh my God, what are all these exchanges doing? They must be in it to kill us all. They hate retail traders. No, that is what market movers and makers are doing, okay? You are targeting the wrong people. So, I wonder why. All right, so obviously this is coming on the heels of Binance adding margin trading. So, we'll have more on this as we move on. All right, we're going to touch on this briefly, man. Coyote of Wall Street, Patrick McDonnell, admits to committing crypto fraud. Now, this is a New York resident. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this individual. He goes by the moniker the Coyote of Wall Street. Honestly, I think he's a fucking joke. But he recently pleaded guilty to a cryptocurrency-related wire fraud in federal court in Brooklyn. So, this individual was the proprietor of Cabbage Tech Corp. So on June 21st, 2019, he had admitted that he stole cash from clients who thought he'd used it to invest in digital currencies amid the current market uptrend. So He, quote, says, I perpetrated a fraud. I claim to invest the money that investors gave me in virtual currency and spend it on personal expenses. So this was his modus operandi. So I'm going to talk about this so that you guys can avoid scams like this. As is the case with the vast majority of cyber crimes, he orchestrated the fraud virtually from behind a monitor screen. So this dude ran around on social media and falsely claimed that he had traded more than $50 million in Bitcoin for thousands of clients. He used YouTube videos with his face covered behind a Guy Fawkes mask, talked about cryptocurrencies and how to invest in them. So he literally said, so this is the same scam that the Bitcoin fund manager uses, and the Bitcoin fund manager is nothing but a scam artist. So none of these guys are real, okay? And I just want to contrast this with what these scammers do and what we do, okay? Because, and I just have to touch on this because we get trolls in here all the time, and I get it. I really do understand, guys. We run a premium trading group. You pay our company money, and we teach you how to trade. We also provide signals and setups. Again, we also provide educational content in video and audio form, our resource library, indicators and strategies, custom spreadsheets and tools. We focus on risk management. We are a legitimate company that teaches individuals how to trade. There are the same companies in Forex. There are the same companies in traditional markets. There is nothing crazy, illegal, or scammy about the good ones. Now, cryptocurrency is awash with scams, so there are a lot of bad ones out there. And again, the reason I started cracking cryptocurrency was mainly because I saw a lot of people around me become paper wealthy in 2017 and become paper destitute in 2018. And as a consistently profitable trader who has been doing this for 10 years, I wanted to do something to stop it. That's why I founded Cracking Cryptocurrency with the help of my business partners, and that's why we have continued to operate for 2 years and do what we do. Our Discord is open, our website is open. You guys are free to come on and communicate with any of our premium members and just ask them if there's value in what we offer, okay? I do not take your money. I do not want your money. I trade investors' funds. That service is not available to you guys, right? I have contracts with my investors. I do things a very specific way. I do not run around and solicit your money to trade. I will never do that, all right? In fact, there are certain requirements that are necessary for me to do that, which is why I do not and will not advertise it or ask for anybody watching on YouTube's money. So if anybody is asking for you to give them money so that they can trade on your behalf, 99.9% that is a scam, regardless of what market you're in. Okay, there are traditional now there are individuals, there are professional asset managers like myself who are able and will trade your funds. You're going to enter into a contractual agreement. There's going to be a lot of paperwork and there are going to be lawyers involved, okay? Hitting somebody up on Discord or Telegram, particularly Telegram, or Facebook or YouTube or Google or whatever, who says, yeah, man, give me all your money, I'll trade, I make billions, I make millions. That is a scam. There is no way around it. That is 100% a scam. Now, I'll be realistic. There are so many crappy Telegram signal groups out there from people who don't know what they're doing, who just say, hey, buy here, sell here, no risk management, no strategy, no blah, 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 blah. Completely opposite of what we do. But I digress. So I understand the mindset of a lot of people that come in here. They see the premium trading group banner at the top. They think we're a scam. I get it. I understand. So I'm already, that's what I've committed to. That is the nature of my company. And that is the nature of me as an individual. I understand that I have to climb and crawl above all the muck that all these other jokers have created in the space. But that doesn't change the fact that I continue to show up here every day, remain accountable to everybody, and do my absolute best to clean up the space. So I will continue to call out scams. I will continue to call out malicious actors and bad actors in the space every single day because that improves the space in totality, man. So anyways, I digress. So that's just a pretty easy way where you can identify a scam if anybody wants to take your money and you're an unqualified investor. Now, again, in Forex and in cryptocurrency, there's no such thing. There's no license to trade people's money, nor do you require one, okay? So I could, by all rights, take anybody's money and trade for them as long as we enter into some kind of agreement. Now, for me, that's always legal. There is a contractual agreement between me and anybody whose money I would accept. And again, I'm not accepting money. I don't need money. But so you can meet individuals who will trade your money and it could be legit. The odds of you finding those individuals on Telegram are 1%, if not less than 1%. But in the future, if you guys ever are interested in using an asset manager, again, I recommend that you actually get a referral from somebody who's using them and has used them for several years. But they do exist. They don't require any legislation because there's no rules. You only need to be registered to trade securities on individuals' behalves. Foreign currency, so the Forex markets and cryptocurrency are not securities. So you don't need a Series 7 license. But if you ever do enter into an agreement like that with somebody, make sure that lawyers are involved. For the love of God, make sure that there is a contractual agreement, not just, yeah, man, I got you, man. Stupid. Let's see here. So this guy spent at least $194,000 on himself out of the funds that were given to him to buy cryptocurrencies. One of his victims was duped by as much as $164,000. That's a freaking shame, man. And this dude's only going to do 2 to 3 years in jail, man. And they should pin this dude up by the toenails and let all his victims play darts. It's my personal opinion, man. Now, moving over into the ZCash community, okay? So, Zuko Wilcox is giving the ZCash community an ultimatum. So, he says that a plan for funding must come in 12 months or the electric coin company is going to pivot away from ZCash. So, basically, the ZCash community just needs to get its act together. Now, the electric coin company CEO, Zuko Wilcox, at ZCash's annual conference said that, listen, guys, we had talked, we needed to find consensus until last October, but he is putting a hard limit on it. He says if our runway gets below 12 months, we're pretty much forced to pivot. So the electric coin company is basically backing the Zcoin community, the Zcash community, the ZK Snarks, and all of the developments that have come out of that. Of course, Zcoin, Zcash were split. So all this is basically saying is that if you guys are bullish on Zcash or if you're involved in the Zcash community, this dude ain't messing around. So, get your development on point, get your development working, and actually come up with an idea to monetize the system, man. All right, so that's going to cover the major news of the day. It is now 1:30. Let's get into our user-submitted chart requests and more chat engagement. Of course, thank you guys for joining us. And as we move into our user-submitted chart requests, I do have to say, a lot of individuals ask me what tools I utilize to trade the way that I do. Again, I do trade on Binance. So how do I trade on Binance and use advanced order tools like a trailing stop loss, a trailing take profit? How do I set a stop loss and a take profit simultaneously on Binance and protect myself, taking the number of trades that I take and do that in a consistently and user-friendly fashion every single day? The tools that I use are 3 commas. I utilize 3 commas for all of my daily trading. You guys can utilize 3 commas too if you want, if you are looking for the type of success that I have. It's not just the tools, but it is the rules that are a key to our success, but the tools are important as well. And one of the major tools that we use on a daily basis is 3 commas. You guys can utilize our link at 3commas.crackingcryptocurrency.com. That will allow you to have a free trial to the platform. I highly recommend you check out 3 commas. It's one of the best in the business. You can set your trailing take profits, your trailing stop losses. You can do trailing buys. They have bots that you can play around with. I don't play around with the bots. I just use it to have advanced order functionality on exchanges that do not support them natively, because as a professional trader, I need professional tools, and 3 commas provides that solution for me. All right. Now, let's get right into the Schiff family still banks today and plays the same war games. I feel you, man. Well, Ricky Thompson, one of the differences there is obviously the use of violence. So armed robbery is violence. Violent crimes are always going to be persecuted more. Christian Zeladon, how am I doing? I'm doing well, man. What do I think about the FATF that wants every crypto transaction AML and ECT? Well, I'm going to look into this more because this has just come across my radar. So I haven't fully read the news. I haven't fully read what they are proposing. So I've got a bunch of links. So I'm going to review this, and I want to talk more about it tomorrow when I have a more qualified answer. Just off the top of my head, looking at the success that they've had, in the past, it's like iffy. But again, this is the exact. So U.S. companies are absolutely going to be affected. So anybody that wants to do business in the United States, like Bitfinex, BitMEX, all these companies have already distanced themselves from the U.S. by not allowing U.S. customers, and it'll just be exciting to see, kind of what comes from that, man. Bullish Bear says, how do you have so many trading view windows on one screen? I thought you could only do 8 at a time. Yeah, this is cryptotrading.toys. It's a different platform entirely. But just to let you know, if you get a hold of TradingView, like if you get a hold of their customer service and you already have their top tier plan, which we do, and you're like, yo, man, I need you guys to provide a better solution for me, they'll do stuff for you, but you got to pay them more money. Gonna kill you on Fortnite. Spot V69. All right, so we've got Neo BTC on the roster from Elijah Finch and from GBU Wally. We've got ZERP to the dollar from Utah and Play BTC from Live, Love, or Dice. I'll choose the Dice myself, man. Although Love is not super bad, man. And if you guys have any chart requests, make sure to throw them in the chat and we will go over them to the best of our ability. So starting off with Neo to the Bitcoin. Over here on Binance, let's take a gander. Now, obviously, we went long on Neo. We went long on Neo at the close of the candle over here. This was a good trade, catching all this profit right here to the upside. We hit take profit 1, so our stops are at break even. What's really nice, and these are almost like your perfect setups, right? So we've talked about reversals back to the baseline. Now, obviously, wasn't long here because we don't trade reversals. This was a good reversal trade for reversal traders because, again, reversal traders are going to need reversal traders need a bone every once in a while. And one of the nice things about using an indicator that actually confirms trends instead of tries to predict reversals. So a leading indicator, and the danger of leading indicators is that they are trying to predict the future based on past price history, which does not work. What are called lagging indicators are confirmation indicators, and they already confirm what price is doing. And because they move a little slower, what they actually do is allow price to catch up. So a beautiful thing is when we get a pullback to the baseline and a long signal. These are almost perfect setups. I love these because your ability to incur a less of a loss, which is how I filter the profitability of a trade. Like if things go wrong, so this is what you don't want to do. When you're looking at a setup, you never want to ask yourself, well, how much money could I make? Because that's greed, and you're just going to go down. Into basically unprofitable situations. Christian Zeladon wants us to look at VUZI. I got you on the NASDAQ. Thanks for my 2 love lances. I got you. VUZI on the NQ. I got you. So, I mean, setups like this where we are getting a pullback to the daily baseline and our indicators are just now catching up. It's just a beautiful setup. And again, smashing take profit 1, getting a little bit of a pullback here on Neo Bitcoin in the afternoon hours. But again, price looking quite nice to me. I quite like this Neo trade. And again, should price come down and hit our stop loss at break even, well, then that is exactly what it is. This is a good tune. Okay, I quite like the way that Neo looks right now. Would I take a position on it right now? No, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't say that it's a bad position to take. We have a rising explosion level from Wada Atar. Volume, oscillator confirmed all trades, as did Wada Atar. And Minx looks quite good. So long to the upside, price rising above the baseline, and quite far away from the static level. So what that means is that it's going to take a while for price to give us an early exit. And of course, RVGI giving us the crossover on the pump candle. Actually, excuse me, on this candle as well. So RVGI being used as a reversal indicator, which is not what we use it for, telling us to go long on this candle as well. This is just a perfect storm of everything that could possibly happen to tell us to go long on price. So Neo Bitcoin's quite good. We've got take profit 2 up here, and then we will look for take profit 3. So best of luck to everybody. I think Neo Bitcoin looks really good. Let's go down to some lower time frames. So we did get a long signal over here on the 12-hour, which was not as profitable as a position. And a little bit of drawdown right now. RVGI not telling you to exit, and Minx not telling you to exit either. Let's see if we can get some increased bullishness. Over on the 8-hour chart, didn't get a good signal from the 8-hour whatsoever, but again, we would not have taken that trade above the qualifying line. We would have gone long here, stayed in the trade, and hit take profit 1, even on the 8-hour. So entry on the close of this candle, probably entering somewhere even around here. And here's your first take profit level. So again, smashing that on this wick, and your stop loss is now at break even. You are still in the trade, but it's looking a little hairy. Momentum dying off a little bit, so let's let this baby consolidate. You did get a continuation long over here that WADA also confirmed, and you're just in a little bit of drawdown right now, so not too bad. Going to the 4-hour time frame. You had a profitable trade here. And you had, again, quite similar to that 8-hour time frame, you had another long signal over here, which is a valid signal. Volume oscillator did not confirm it, so potentially you're not taking that. But this signal was confirmed by everything Wadatar, volume oscillator, everything looking quite nice. And again, that was a profitable trade just for take profit 1. And again, even if you took this trade, you're still in it and holding on the 4-hour time frame. So I'd say that NEO looks quite good. Just make sure that, as with always, that you have your exit indicators on and that you are respecting them. Regardless of what happens. Dude, I'm sorry, 47, man. Thank you so much for the subscription over there on Twitch, my good friend. You are the man. And Shubham0507, thank you so much for the follow. Loving the support, man. Thank you so much. Let's do a little bit of sub love over here on Twitch. We're going to throw our hands up if you guys are watching on Twitch. You know, we're going to have to try doing the emote pyramid someday. I've got to add the custom emotes for the little cryptocurrency guys, for the Kraken cryptocurrency guys. But thank you so much for the support over there, man. Highly appreciated, and we will keep grinding as always, my good friend. Okay. You guys are getting super deep in the chat, man. All right, so let's go look at ZERP. ZERP USD. We'll look on Bitstamp, or excuse me, on Bitfinex. So on the daily time frame, getting a little bit of a pullback from the continuation long. We are in drawdown on the ZERP USD trade. Pretty steep pullback all the way down to the daily baseline and some nice volume. So a little bit of a reversal candle coming in right now. Obviously, Minx crossing into the static area, so giving us the early exit signal. RVGI has not yet crossed over. So this is one I'm going to be holding on to throughout the close of the daily, and we'll see what ZERP USD does here. I'd like to say that price looks good. It doesn't really look like anything, honestly. Continuation long signal here, price pulling back into the buy zone and reversing off the baseline so far. So this looks poised to be good. And again, falling volume on a retracement is typically indicative of a retracement, i.e. bullish. But again, that would be subjective price analysis and just what I've noticed over time. Rising explosion level, still printing candles above the explosion level as well. I would say this looks quite good. And it's just now, as we can see, the volume oscillator confirming volume and moving to the downside as well. ZERP looks good, man. If I was going to enter into a trade, I was looking for a reversal trade, I would probably take a ZERP trade to the upside. Again, we do have to coach that with the fact that Minx is actually telling us to get out. Of course, if we listen to our less sensitive stop loss indicator, we are not getting out yet. I remember Neo at 160. What a retracement. I feel you, man. Interesting. So let's go down to some lower time frames. Got a long signal over here on ZERP USD here. That was a good trade. Hit all three take profits on that run up on ZERP, and we've had 2 days of pullback. Again, still respecting the 12-hour baseline as well. Over here on the 8, price pulling back down to the 8-hour baseline as well and consolidating right at it after a dive below. 4-hour time frame is actually trading below the baseline. We did get a nice long signal over here that pushed us to the upside. So depending on what time frame you're trading on, I would say that there's not a whole lot of indications to do anything at the moment. And actually, one could argue that there is an indication to exit the trade. Not much of a loss at the current moment in time. It's just a, let's actually check, about 2.91%. Let's take a look at ZERP Bitcoin continuing its ascension to the downside. Thank you so much. All right, so let's look at play. I think I got to go over to, yeah, I got to go over to Coin Paprika. Martmo, I literally just did, man. Dude, I'm sorry, says I'm semi-new to crypto. I FOMO'd in during the December 2017 run and got wrecked. Don't feel bad, man. We all did. Well, okay, that's not accurate. We did not, but we've been trading for a very long time. But it happened to a lot of people, man. Play chip BTC. I assume this is the one you're talking about, Live Love. Is it play chip? You said something about it being over 300%. It's over 9,000. Play key, play game. That's definitely... Just play coin. HEROCOIN, gotcha. That's a big pump up, man. Somebody just dumped. Yeah, bullish bear. You can do it to a certain extent on the cryptotrading.toys website. There's also, oh shoot, man. There is another website that lets you have 3 or 4 screens open, but that's if you don't want to pay for TradingView. So if you already have something like TradingView and you can have up to 8, I don't know of any better sites than that. So what I would do is, what I actually do is, I use trading, and I really don't trade like this anymore because I don't need to watch multiple markets, but because I just do my daily scan. But I've got multiple monitors, so I'll have 8. I had 8 over here, and 8 over here, and 8 here, and 8 here. You know, if I wanted to watch all of them. Dutch crypto overview. Yes, every single day I go over all the commodities and precious metals that I'm interested in trading. So we did look at ZAO USD, we looked at palladium, we looked at silver, ZAG. They all look like very good longs, man. Silver's good. Silver's still quite good. When is ByBit bringing cross leverage? They are going to bring cross leverage. They already have you can get pseudo cross leverage on ByBit right now by selecting auto margin replenishment. So that just means that if price hits your liquidation price, it will automatically push more margin into your trade. And so that's basically cross leverage. But obviously selecting cross leverage from the jump so that your liquidation price is pursuant to your account balance is better as well. But they are going to be introducing that feature. It's on their roadmap. And so far, ByBit has not hit a single snag on the roadmap. Investingpoint.com. What's that? Well, it's for sale. Looking at play, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. This is where you sell. I mean, if something's over 50%, I mean, what are the odds that this HEROCOIN is... Okay, so let's just talk about this. Okay, let's look at every other time this thing's pumped. 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 I mean, this is not the next Bitcoin, man. Take some money off the table, or you're probably going to be sorry. Now, again, if this runs up 1,000%, are you going to be laughing? Probably. But what are the odds, man? Like, literally, what are the odds? What are the statistical odds that this is the one time where it does this and not this, which is literally done every single other time? The statistics are not with you. So trade with caution, my good friend. Opportunities like this, when you catch them, are a great way to make some cash. But what's the actual liquidity here, man? What's the 24-hour traded volume of this HEROCOIN anyways? Like, really, how much money do you stand to make? Stuff like this, people often point it out to me. But then when I tell them, like, yeah, but, if you put 20 grand in it, like, you're not making any money. Are you serious? 200 bucks? That doesn't even matter. You made 300% off $4? I mean, it's cool and everything, but oh, I mean, I feel you, man. I mean, I get it's a thing. It is currently trading on 2 active markets with $5 traded for the last 24 hours. Oh, man. There's $5 in volume in the last 24 hours over there on HitBTC. $51% attack on Hero. I would not doubt it. You said investing.com? I wonder who owns this domain. This is going to be awesome. Charts. I pumped it for $4. Hashtag winning. All right, interesting. You're saying I can get more screens? How do I do such a thing? Oh, cool. Oh, this is cool. What exchanges do they got? Just these, though? And where are they pulling their exchange data from? Expand. Ah. So investing.com, guys. Go check that out. That seems pretty neat. All right. VUZI over on the NASDAQ. I think that's probably going to be it. And, yeah. What did you say? I'm sorry, over there on Twitch, my good buddy. You said something about, oh, what are my short-term thoughts on TRX? No, of course I don't mind you asking, man. We'll take a gander. VUZI. Whoops. VUZI. Yeah. So the VUZIX Corp over on the NASDAQ. Let's take a look. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, you definitely called it, my good friend. Looking for a re-entry, not an entry right now. So, yeah, we got long signal over here. Would have been difficult to catch that one. Continuation long that did hit our first take profit. Maybe you took the trade here. If you did, you would have hit all 3 take profits eventually, which would have been good. But again, the risk is not quite there. Lower time frames. Let's see if you would have caught this on the 12. No. Let's see if you would have caught this on the 4. No, not really. This would have been difficult to catch. Maybe you snag it up right here on the pullback, and then you catch this last move. This is just something that, at least the way that I have the settings, wouldn't have done very well to catch. But good bullishness coming here from VUZI. Where would be a good pullback? Again, I'm always looking for the 13 exponential moving average on the daily. That is my baseline. That is the area where price tends to reverse the most. That level is coming in right now at $3.75. So that is the area I would be looking at. We are coming back into the buy zone right now. So if we were going to take a reversal trade, I would be taking a reversal trade there. And then I'd be looking at targets of $4.25, $4.62, $5, $5.62 if we can get all the way up there. Overall, let's look at the weekly on VUZI. And VUZI is breaking above, VUZI is trading above the 13. So VUZI is trading above the daily baseline. Let's see where we are in relation to the secondary baseline. Yeah, we are consolidating at the secondary baseline on the weekly. And on the daily, we did just have the daily moving average crossover. So this is actually pretty good. So if this area fails, if $3.75 fails, then I would be looking at $3.09. I would be looking for this buy zone right here. But that's a good run up, man. Hopefully you were able to make some cash off that. So TRX for our new sub over there on Twitch. Oh, by the way, man, AK11MK, thank you so much for the bits, my good friend. We're going to host you after the show, by the way. By the way, guys, we do want to support the crypto community over there on Twitch. So if you are a Twitch streamer and you would like to... And you think that you're offering something unique to the cryptocurrency community, get a hold of me in the Discord at JustinWise5696, and maybe we'll talk about hosting you. Dude, I'm sorry, 47. I stream every single day, Monday through Friday, noon to 2, on the weekends from 5 to 7, Central Daylight Time. You're welcome, Christian. Okay, looking at Tron to the Bitcoin. Now, listen, Tron's been one of those things where I've been short on Tron, and I just needed to go ahead and get with the program and move in the direction. Again. So we're just going to be patient with Mr. Tron right here. It keeps bumping up against the daily baseline. We actually might be exiting the position a little bit. It doesn't really bother me too much. But if we take a look, again, multiple continuation shorts. It's been a good trade to the downside, putting in a nice little bit of bullishness right now and pushing back. Again, really wants to test. It keeps getting sold into right here. So once everybody offloads their supply, then maybe price will move up. My short-term thoughts on this are... I think that, so this is bearish because we are below the daily baseline. All of our indications are not telling us to get out, though. Very low momentum, very low volatility over the last 2 days, except for this candle. And really, if you just take a look at the volume on the candle, it really isn't overly that impressive. Volume is quite high, I'm not going to lie, relative to what we've seen through this movement to the downside. And again, where do you see volume come into an exchange or into a market? Generally when the trend is going to shift. So I'm kind of holding on to this. I'm in a little bit of drawdown, hoping I can get a little bit of price pushing back down and letting me get out of my position at a good opportunity. But we'll just wait and see. So if we break above this daily baseline, then this will be a pretty good long, assuming that all the other indications of our system are good. But as it sits right now, if you are not in a position, as I am in a position, it's pretty much a do-nothing trade. I'm actually pretty much right at break even and just a little baby bit of drawdown. So this might be a situation where we go ahead and exit pretty much at break even. Basically, there's nothing on the trade and move right along to the next coin. So... best of luck, my good friend. Okay, having said that, all right, having said that, guys, we're going to go ahead and kill the music. And we're going to start wrapping up, guys. So thank you so much for joining us for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. Of course, I've been your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com. Now, if you guys enjoy the show, make sure to show us some love by liking, following, subscribing, engaging in the live chat and in the comment section, and sharing us to your family and friends, even people you don't like. They need to see the information. If you guys would like to join the premium trading group and have access to our proprietary indicators, our custom strategies, our educational content, reliable signals and setups from our analysts and traders, professional mentoring, everything that we have to offer, as well as our resource database library and access to our private Discord community, you guys can, of course, check the link at the top of the screen. I'd be highly looking forward to trading with you and teaching you the secrets to our success and how we do things behind the wall. Now, let's see here. One other thing I got to talk about is... do you like listening to amazing cryptocurrency podcasts and great podcasts in general? Obviously, you guys know some of my favorites. And one of my favorite podcasts is, I dare to say, this show. I don't really listen to it every day because that would be somewhat narcissistic. But you guys can. If you are often busy and miss the live stream and you would like not to do that, you can, of course, check our podcast out at breakingbitcoin.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Scott has put in so much work, so much effort, and it is live. It is awesome. It is shiny. It is better than ever before. It is podcast V2.0. You guys can, of course, find that at breakingbitcoin.crackingcryptocurrency.com. www.crackingcryptocurrency.com. You can see the show notes for today. You can see all the show's past show notes, see actually what I utilize to do the show myself, all my talking points, everything that I go over in the show, as well as full timestamps. Now, on Google Music and Google Podcasts, we're currently showing up as Cracking Cryptocurrency. Scott's working on fixing that. And we're also on Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, and now on iTunes under Breaking Bitcoin. So we highly appreciate if you guys go give us a 5-star review, especially over there on iTunes. Might seem silly to you, but it does highly help us out. Thank you guys so much for the support. Let us know if you have a favorite podcatcher you'd like us to add, or you could probably manually add it if you click on manually add RSS feed on the website. Again, that's breakingbitcoin.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And of course, thank you so much. Big shout out to the supporters of the show. Damian Parsons, thank you so much for the subscription over there on YouTube, and welcome to the community. Now, we will be here tomorrow from noon to 2 Central Daylight Time. Let's see how the market turns out. Of course, guys, trade safely. And for the guys in the premium trading group, I will see you guys very shortly. That's it for today. Make sure that you guys trade safely. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or death threats, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will get back to you within 48 hours. Trade safely, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.